Right now, though, time to induct another classic into our History of House series from the one and only Steve Silk Hurley. Talking about the seminal Jack Your Body, a record that went to number one in the UK way back in 1986. Never even featured on Radio 1 daytime. It took the UK by storm. Here's Steve to tell us more.
Not everyone understands house music. It's a spiritual thing, a body thing, a soul thing.
Pete Tong, BBC Radio 1.
Hey, this is Steve Silk Hurley from SNS Chicago for Pete Tong's History of House on BBC Radio 1. Among other dance records, I released the house song Jack Your Body in 1986, and it exploded in 1987. Actually, Jack Your Body was a track that I created to just inspire people on the dance floor to jack their bodies in Chicago. I did that like in 1984, made this rough 4-track version of it. And then when I went in the studio, I wanted to do something a little different with it. So what I did, I was inspired by the comedy of none other than Mr. Eddie Murphy, who used to imitate Mr. T, James Brown, and the Honeymooners, all kinds of people. So I wanted to take some of the things that Eddie Murphy was doing in his comedy routines and some of the characters that he was imitating and interject them into Jack Your Body. For instance, when Eddie Murphy imitated Mr. T, I would do, "Jack it up out there." If he was imitating James Brown, I would do, "Hey!" I can't do "hey" because throat's gone. The "woo" would be something else, but that's what it was. So all I was doing was playing around, having a little fun. So it was basically inspired, first of all, by the people I was DJing for to get them to jack their bodies into the night. I would say my favorite thing about making Jack Your Body was experimenting with the blues riffs. You know, I learned how blues records work, with blues being from Chicago. I asked my other manager, who was a piano player, how blues actually worked and how the turnarounds worked and everything. And then I just locked myself in the room for a whole day and just figured out how I was going to make Jack Your Body do that. You know, so that was the fun part. And believe it or not, everybody thought I was crazy. And my other manager even said I was playing devil music or something. So it was so hilarious because I was just having fun with it. Actually, I didn't realize Jack Your Body was going to be big. I just was trying to make an impact locally with the people I was DJing for, just to give them a fun record. So I found out it was big when I heard that Top of the Pops wanted to bring me out there. And I had no idea that Top of the Pops was even that big. So my manager advised me to finish our album that we were on our deadline for, and he said we could go back out there to the UK and perform another time. And I found out later that Top of the Pops was Top of the Pops. And I just always wanted to apologize to you guys there here in the BBC for me not coming out there. I would have gladly come out there and done a show to show the appreciation for the love you guys were giving me for the record, but I just didn't know the impact of the record. I didn't know it was #1 pop charts. I thought it was #1 dance chart. I thought it was just like making some noise and we'd be able to come back out there later. But basically the first time I knew it was going to be big was when it hit #1 on the pop charts. I mean, I had a good feeling about the record because when I'm in the studio, I always get hyped and excited because I'm taking myself into the frame of mind of being in the clubs and people hearing me play. So I'm playing the music loud and trying to capture that moment. And that's when I knew it was going to be something special, but I had no idea it was going to be big. I think what made Jack Your Body a hit is actually what made people not understand it initially, which was that it was so different and so to the left that when you heard it, you had to look at me like I was crazy. And I think that is probably what made people stand up and take notice, because when you heard it, you had to say, what is that? And then on the dance floor, I guess it had an effect on people that was making them move a certain way, or should I say jack. It was just making them jack. So it was like, Jack Your Body. Now people understood what jack really meant. I would also say it became a hit record because of the community of people that love dance music, that embraced house music, from not only say Chicago, of course, or New York, or DC, or Jersey. You know, I don't want to leave any cities out. But of course, when London embraced it, it became a whole different thing. It wasn't just an underground thing anymore. So for you guys to embrace house music on the level of playing it on the radio, on national radio, and that's what made me know, wow, this is really something special happening here. I really love getting the new generation of house music producers involved with my music. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple of years ago at the Chosen Few picnic in Chicago with 50,000 screaming people, I played the Olav Basowski remix of Jack Your Body, which also used all of the parts from the original, and people went ballistic. And I think when you take the time out to put together a timeless piece and really put your heart and soul in it, I think people actually appreciate that. And it translates even when you do remixes. And that's why I'm so excited about this new James Kerr remix that's coming out on SNS Chicago, April 5th. It's going to be great. Jack it up out there.
Jack your body, 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 jack your body.
Tong is actually the person who signed Jack Your Body to London Records back in 1987, and he is someone who I'm indebted to. So thank you, Mr. Pete Tong, for everything you've done for me and taking my record #1 for not only 1 week, but 2 weeks in the UK. And I promise you, my next #1, I will be at Top of the Pops.
Classic bit of house history. Many thanks to Steve Silk Hurley for the stories. Great to hear that again.